Hello, welcome to DSE English Paper 3 Part B2 for Dummies Part 2. This video will look at 3 more errors whenever is it acceptable to write a full name in the greeting. For example, dear Kenny, whenever can I introduce myself like I am Chris Wong? What if I don't know whether Denise is male or female? And then we have 2 more hacks. What if I want to insert some points I've later found? And what if I run out of time in the last 30 seconds? So error 1, whenever is it acceptable to write a full name in the greeting like dear Mr. Kenny? Well, this is what my students wrote to me every year, every term exam. Dear Mr. Kenny, Mr. Kenny, dear Kenny, and even dear Mr. Kenny. Well, these never happen. You never write that, but you say, I swear I've seen it somewhere. Yes. On the envelope, boys and girls, on the envelope. That is the only possible case where you write the full name with the title Miss Rebecca Smith, for example, or the sender, look at the top left corner, Miss Jane H. Doe. Will it be part of the test in the DSE? Well, I have never seen it in the past. Could it be in the future? Possibly, but I highly doubt that. So the answer to this question is never. It never happens. For informal, you say dear Kenny. For formal, you say dear Mr. What about semi-formal? Should I just combine both of them and get dear Mr. Kenny? Well, in your dream. This is not mathematics or some chemical reaction. You don't have something neutralized and get this monster. Question 2, whenever can I introduce myself like I am Chris Wong? What was wrong with that? It sounds perfectly natural. Yes, it does sound natural because that's what we say, how we introduce ourselves, especially on the phone, orally. Hi, this is Chris Wong. Hi, I'm Chris Wong. Hi, my name is Chris Wong. Hi, Chris Wong speaking. But for writing, it's not the same. People can know who you are by looking at the bottom right away. Su Liu is the writer. I see. This is the 2020 B1 data file, a letter, someone writing for the first time to somebody else. But you see, no self-introduction. It is just introducing the writing purpose. B2 2020, you find this letter of request in the data file. Well, look at this example, it's quite special. Do you call this a self-introduction? Well, it is, but it is actually deeper background introduction. Instead of hi, this is the Locate Foundation. Hi, I am Chris Wong from the Locate Foundation. This is a letter of request, so they are introducing themselves deeply for a certain writing purpose. This is not the same. 2016, a letter of complaint. You can see again the writing purpose. On behalf of, yes, you can say who you are representing. That would be meaningful. 2012, we find this interview. These people are introducing themselves. Well, George and I are students at Kowloon University. I'm originally from Oman, but what are they doing there having an interview? So this is not the same. This is spoken communication, and actually they are just answering the question the interviewer asks who they are. So we are coming back to the same conclusion that self-introduction happens during oral communication. So obviously the answer to this question is also never, because this is a writing exam, paper 3, integrated skills, not speaking. But wait a minute, what if I am writing and speaking at the same time? Yes, in the speech.
My name is Canwin, and I play both the piano and the violin. I aspire to someday be a doctor and...
Of course, giving a speech is just like telling a story. There are a million ways to do it. You don't have to introduce yourself. Take a look at another example.
So it's 2006. My friend Harold Ford calls me. He's running for U.S. Senate in Tennessee. And he says, Melody, I desperately need some national press. Do you have any idea?
Has she introduced herself? Well, yes, very implicitly right here in the 3rd line, Melody. This is her name. Lovely. Must you introduce yourself in the speech? I didn't say that. What I'm saying is speech is the only text type which I think can justify a self-introduction. Otherwise, I don't think you can do a self-introduction. What if I don't know whether Denise is male or female? Who is Denise? If you have done 2020, you come across Denise Leung, and here's what my student gave me. Dear Mr. Leung, dear Miss Leung, dear Sir Madam, dear Mrs. Leung, dear Mr. Leung, dear Mr. Leung, dear Sir Madam, dear Miss Leung. Well, all I can say is you need to expand your common sense, expand your social circle, make more friends. If you know somebody called Denise, it would be perfect. Well, you need to be able to spell these names as well. In paper 3A, my name is George, my name is Michael, my name is Rebecca, my name is Eugenia, my name is Priscilla, my name is Denise. You name it, literally you name it. And if you Google Denise post exam, you will find lots of pictures, images, and they look female to me. And this is probably the most significant Denise in Hong Kong, Denise Ho. So what about in the exam? I couldn't Google in the toilet, could I? Well, in that case, I want you to place a bet. The good news is it must be either male or female. So you still have 50% chance of getting it right. You say, oh, it's too risky. Can I just say dear sir or madam? Bad idea, boys and girls. You know Denise Leung is writing to you. Denise knows you know she was writing to you. You mustn't ignore her like nobody. You must respond directly to Denise Leung. So if you write dear Mr. Leung or Miss Leung, you still have 50% chance, but dear sir or madam is 100% fail. Of course, if this is informal writing, just say dear Denise. Happy ending. Here we come to the 2 hacks of the day. Number 1, what if I want to insert some points I've later found? What can I do? Well, first of all, I hope this should never happen. Ideally, you have outlined everything, you have planned everything nicely. You shouldn't find some points out of nowhere all of a sudden. But this is an emergency contingency we are talking about. So footnotes, bad idea. They look really ugly, really exhausting, really annoying. What I'm suggesting is actually something really old-fashioned. If possible, cross it out. Cross out your previous paragraph and start again if time allows it. And then I will totally ignore what you have crossed out. And my flow, my logic, my reading as a marker will go undisturbed, will go smoothly, and no mark should be deducted. No bad impression should be formed. Some of you may be a perfectionist. You think this big cross, this kind of messy crossing out looks bad. Well, I'm comparing footnotes or some insertion between lines with this huge cross. This huge cross just looks very beautiful. Don't worry. But I repeat, do this only when you have plenty of time left, which is, I'm afraid, unlikely for this paper. Now let's be realistic. What if I don't actually have plenty of time, but I'm running out of time in the last 30 seconds? My question is, shall I go for one more content point or something else? Well, my answer is something else. Because one content point can be quite complicated. It can be made up of some smaller minor points from multiple sources of multiple pages. But go for something else. What are they? Language organization and appropriacy. I mean, give it a good ending, a smooth landing. You know how to do it. In 30 seconds, I'm sure you can round it up, sign off, whatever, end it nicely. Make it look complete. Yes, make it look complete. And readers love that completeness, and you can gain 1 point for organization, 1 point for appropriacy for that. Conversely, if your writing looks incomplete, you can get penalized for 1 organization point and 1 appropriacy point. In other words, you can get 2 more points or lose 2 more points. The range difference is 4. My goodness. You don't lose content point. It's either 1 or 0. You don't get penalized. You don't get 1 content point deducted. But I tell you, these bonus points, organization, appropriacy, they are subjective. So you don't know what the market is thinking or how they are feeling, and feeling is impressions, impression is subjective. And if you want to go for a content point, sometimes a content point is out of your control. You think it is a point, sorry, it is only half of the point, or maybe it is something irrelevant. In contrast, I think a reasonable ending is under your control within 30 seconds. I'm talking about the last 30 seconds when everybody is going nervous, the mind going blank, but you can still, with your muscle memory, pull off this reasonable ending. That's why I suggest going for the bonus. Because no one wants a burning kitchen, but sometimes when it comes to one, you can still choose between a small fire or a hellish fire.